This is another video about how to fix and refurbish motorcycle horns that don't work. These horns that you see at the bottom of this picture, these two together, were off of my 1983 Honda Magna V65, and neither one of them worked. The bike had been sitting in storage indoors for about 5 or 6 years unattended, and I know that the current is going to the horns because I tested it with the ohm meter you see in the upper right. So when I press the horn button, the terminals to the horn are getting power. So we know that there was no power going to the horns themselves. Now everybody's told you that you need to have continuity between the terminals to see that the horns are working properly. So I'm going to turn these over and show you that. So when you're testing your horns to see if they're the problem or not, you have to have continuity between these two terminals that you're seeing here. And you need the ohm meter to do that. You set it on ohms and see if there's continuity, because if there isn't, you've got to get inside the horn and take care of the problem. It's corrosion or oxidation or what have you. You see here some of the things you're going to need to do what I'm going to tell you how to do. You need an ohm meter, a multimeter, and an important part of this is a Dremel tool with metal cutting blades. You can buy a kit like this with these metal cutting blades, which in a sense is a power hacksaw, at Lowe's for about 20 bucks. And these very thin metal cutting blades will do the job that I'm going to show you how to do to get into these horns. The outside of the horns have these trim pieces on them. They're nothing more than chrome looking plastic, and they pop right off the horn. So the next thing you'll see here is this silver metal ring that goes all the way around each horn. And you see the gap at the top. You have to open the horn by cutting through that white metal ring with the Dremel all the way around, and then if you stick a screwdriver in that little slot and pry a little bit, you can carefully and gently pull that ring off, trying to keep it, in the shape that it's supposed to be without deforming it. But it will slide off. It's a tight fit, but you just have to slide it off all the way around to get into the horn. I'm not going to do that right now because I've already done it, and you've seen other videos that show what the inside of the horn is all about. Basically, you've got a set of points in there, an electromagnet that pulls this top piece back and forth very rapidly. This piece right here, the outer piece, is the horn, and if you press on it, there's a little bit of spring to it. You hear that? So when that rapidly moves in and out because of the breaking and making of the contacts inside through the spring mechanism, that's what causes the sound to happen. A couple things you need to know that are important, and I haven't seen these things referenced very much on other videos. First of all, these brass contacts that clip to your power source on your bike are riveted in place to contacts inside the horn. And those rivets, although they may look solid, are not making contact, and you'll have a break in continuity between the inside and the outside of the horn. And I discovered that with my ohm meter by checking for continuity. So what I've done is I've cleaned up each one on the outside here and soldered a good connection between the riveted portion and the contact you see, so that you know you're going to get good contact there. The second thing you need to know is the points inside may be physically touching, but they again may not be contacting electrically. So you need to get in there with a thin piece of like 400 emery paper and stick it in between those points and move it back and forth to clean those contacts very well. And then once you've done all of that, you should be able to get continuity between the external brass contacts that we're looking at here. So when you get done cleaning the points inside the horn and making sure that the continuity is occurring with both connections to the inside, then you can reapply the silver ring that you see here that I took off to get inside the horn. That's the reason you need a hammer like I have here, a small hammer, to just get it started, and then you can tap it into place as you go around, and it'll make a nice snug fit and be back the way it was in the beginning. And then you could put the chrome rings, if you have trim like that, back on the horn, which hides the Dremel cut that I made. So I hope this has been helpful. A lot of people overlook some of these electrical connections that need to be refurbished so that the horn current will do its job. If you have questions or whatever, please feel free to email me at the email address that follows. Thanks for watching.